get it done. For a lot of factors, I think, but the main factor was inability to score touchdowns in the red zone. I mean, I think you can slice any which way you want to slice it. That was the big factor in the game. They did a good job of keeping everything tight inside the box and making it hard for us to be able to get into the end zone. And then when you settle for a couple field goals, now I think fourth down we didn't get it early in the game. That's the difference in the game. And I think there was things that happened throughout the game that obviously if you do a little bit better, you got a chance to win, and we didn't get it done. So tip your hat to Coach Martin and his staff and what they were able to do to get that win. But again, just very disappointed in the outcome of that game.
Was there anything specific in the red zone that they were doing? It's 7 trips, 1 touchdown.
Not really. I mean, I think it was playing the same defense that they played. They showed in there, and we didn't do a good job of finding ways to get in the zone. And I thought a couple of times I thought we were there, and just didn't get in. Corey gets in there, and then Emory scores and on a cue draw that got in. But other than that, we really didn't do a whole lot down in there. I mean, I should go back and watch the tape, but I thought they did a really nice job up front, and then their linebackers were playing downhill to stop the run game there, and we just couldn't spit any out into the end zone.
Brian and Keegan.
Defensively, Blaine Gabbert had 9 rushes for 132 yards. What did you see from your defense that was allowing him to get an open field like that?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly hurt us with his legs. I thought there were times we were playing man-to-man coverage, and we're doubling number 10. And so you got an extra guy outside of the box, and then whenever he broke contain of the line of scrimmage, he's going to be able to get some yards. And that really hurt us quite a bit, obviously. There in the overtime, and then there was a couple third downs where I thought he went and got first downs there. And it's really just our D line just standing in their lanes there, and you're creating too much upfield, and then all of a sudden he just spits it out of A gap or B gap, and that was a big part of their game. I thought Gabbert played great in the running game, and threw some balls down the field that were obviously big time throws.
Would you have liked to see Emory keep his eyes downfield a little bit more there at that overtime possession? Did he get a little too run happy?
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at that point in time. I think, really the only one I really remember is that last one there. But we got a couple penalties down there. I mean, they called, lineman downfield on that one. We're on the 2-yard line. I don't know how you call that really, but and then we get a penalty there. We back it up. We get back to the 2. We got a holding penalty. It goes back. We get back to in there. We were battling right there. Just didn't find a way to get in there. So it's hard to say about Emory. I mean, I thought, other than a couple decisions, I thought he played really good. I thought he played gutsy tonight. He ran the ball hard, made some great throws. I don't know. I mean, he rushed for 101 yards, looks like here, and threw the ball pretty nice. I think he'd like to have the pick right before half back when he threw that pick. But other than that, I thought he played very solid.
And speaking of Larvadan, first play of the game, you get him in single coverage and he takes it 79 yards. Was that what you wanted to see right out of the gate, having single
Well,
coverage?
absolutely not. There was a miscommunication in the coverage on that play, and no, you ask anybody in our locker room who we had to defend, it was number 10. Our whole team knew that, offense, players, it didn't matter. So that was a miscommunication. They hit that one on us. But then after that, really, we kind of settled down. I thought we played solid on defense, other than the Q scrambles. And then the one drive when they hit, had called 2 PIs on our guys, and they hit the fade ball on our sideline. But other than that, I thought our guys played solid.
Running game really didn't take off till second half. Ryan does a nice job for you, but they kind of shut Kiner down.
Yeah, I thought, like we said in the past, whoever's got the hot hand is going to be in there. And I thought he, did a good job seeing it and running hard, breaking tackles, and got the Q run game involved with that as well. 2 guys rushed for over 100. So, I mean, second half it started clicking a little bit better. And of course throughout the game they're making adjustments on defense. We're making adjustments on offense. And I thought, again, we moved the ball. I mean, we had a lot of yards, which you got to get a lot of points. I think that's the big difference in the game.
A couple downfield PIs last week, again this week. Is there something there teams are picking on or are able to?
I mean, they're trying to throw the ball one-on-one down the sideline. I thought JY was in good shape. It was right on our sideline, and he turns back, looks for the ball, and they're both jockeying for position. He turns back, and we get the call. So, I mean, I don't know, it's frustrating. and then they throw the touchdown pass in overtime, and he gets they're jockeying and he gets knocked down and they catch the touchdown. I mean, it's just, it's frustrating to, what are we supposed to tell the corners? How are you supposed to play that? So we got to do a better job of playing the ball and obviously keeping our feet. And, when guys are attacking us down the field, which, I mean, you're right. I mean, we're seeing that. We're going to continue to see it, where guys are going to, one-on-one down the sideline and try to make hay in that way because, as they're thinking, you're going to get a PI or a potential catch. Why not throw it down the sideline? So we got to do a better job of defending those passes.
Xavier Henderson really had it going tonight, 12 catches for 140 yards. What was working on the offensive side to really get him going in this game early?
Yeah, I mean, they were packing it in the box there, and that's why it's difficult to run the football. And it was one-on-one outside, so we were trying to take advantage of that against their corners. And he did a nice job all night of catching the ball and underneath and, getting some good yards on that. And they were able, I think we got a lot of first downs and moved the ball down the field again. That wasn't the issue. I mean, the issue was, again, in the red zone, trying to score touchdowns. I mean, that's what it came down to.
On the 4th and 9, when you did the fake punt, what went into it? More a field call or?
Well, we had punted a couple of times earlier than that. We saw how they were lined up, and it looked like it would be there. I thought that was a good time to call it because you're backed up on the -20 or whatever we were. Nobody's thinking you're going to fake it. And, we got the look, and Jowon did a great job of hitting it and blocked it up. And, he gave us a chance, and we're trying to win the game. I think maybe 2:40 in the clock, maybe at that point in time. We get the ball down, we melted the clock all the way down. You just got to knock down the field goal, and we get it blocked. I mean, that was obviously a big play because you knock that one down, it's going to be a ball game. And we're all having a different conversation right now.
2 sacks from the UC defense tonight. What was not clicking quite as well in the pass rush as last
Well,
week?
I think they were, number one, I think they get rid of the ball pretty quick. Do a good job of catch and throw. We were able to get to him a couple of times. And then the other thing I thought that he did a really nice job of moving around in the pocket. We're trying to get in our rush lanes. Our guys are getting up the field. He's sliding one side or the other, stepping up, making some plays. I mean, you got to give credit to him. He did a good job of stepping up and really running and getting those first downs, which made it a little bit more difficult because we're playing man outside and trying to double some guys, so you got a light box.
There were a lot of teams that were sluggish today. How do you recover from this? Because obviously next week is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing, obviously. We got to go back and, regroup, look at ourselves in the mirror, starting right with me, and what can we do to get better. And that's what we got to do. We start Big 12 play next week. We know that. We got an outstanding team coming in next week, Oklahoma. They do a great job, and they're riding high right now and playing really well. So we have to come in and have a great week. There's no time to have a pity party and start feeling sorry for ourselves. I can tell you that. We got to come in tomorrow and get to work.
Was there any indication this week in practice that it's such a new team and so many new guys that maybe believed in themselves a little too much after the way the season started?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought we had a good week of practice. I mean, I thought we really got after it. I thought, I thought guys were focused, and we did some really good things this week in practice. I mean, it was a lot of intensity there. We talked about it, the importance of this game all week. Our guys knew what we were coming into, and it's just we didn't play good enough to win. Is the bottom line. I mean, again, red zone, blocked field goal. I mean, there's a couple of things we can point to that we would have got the win. It'd be a lot different right now.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Questions for Jowon Briggs?
Jowon, tough day for the D-line getting after Gabbert. Was there anything specific, or was just his ability to kind of sneak away and find open space?
Yeah, so we kept running into the problem of us getting pressure, us getting upfield. And then Gabbert did a great job all game, as you guys saw, of just, seeing the pressure and seeing where we're flushing him to and, getting vertical. So that's just a testament to him as a player. But we could have done a little bit better of a job trying to contain him and keep him in the pocket there.
You're a local guy. How aggravating is this? There are plenty of local guys over there. They ran after the bell. They get a big play. First win in 18 years.
I mean, it's very aggravating, and for everyone that came before me, I'd apologize just because that was not our best game. And, in another vein, it's my last chance at it. So I'm just going to put my all into the corrections we do tomorrow, and I'm going to make sure our team does the same thing, and we'll get after it and try to focus on our next opponent.
How, as a leader on this team, do you kind of motivate the guys this next week in practice that, while it was a bad win, there's still 9 games on the schedule that you guys have to recuperate for?
I mean, you really just have to have the next play mentality, and that's something that I'll harp in the D-line room. That's something that I'll harp to all the guys. What you put on, like, it's the same thing. You can't cry over spilled milk. I mean, you look at it for a play, look at it for a day, which will be tomorrow when we go over the film, make our corrections. You look at it and then you clean it up. You got to clean it up. And then you move on to your next beverage. You move on to your next game, which will be Oklahoma.
You and Dante got to get in on offense early in the game. What happened on that play?
I mean, it was just a simple flub. We're going down. They kind of had it dialed up perfectly. They brought pressure from that side. So as we're collapsing the edge, they had a guy basically squeezing down there. And, they just had a pretty much perfect pressure drawn up for that. So there it is.
What were you guys doing defensively that was allowing him to get out in the open field like that?
Yeah, so towards halftime, or before halftime, we had focused on really just obviously getting pressure on him. But, I mean, Gabbard did such a great job with his legs. I mean, he was an escape artist today. That's the best thing I can say. And we didn't do a good enough job containing him. And then we didn't do a good enough job tackling him once he got past or out of that contain. So, as a D lineman, I'll take that on the chin. We just got to do a better job at squeezing guys in. And there are a lot of mobile quarterbacks coming up in the league play, so that's something that we definitely need to take into account and really need to focus on as we move forward.
How difficult was this game with, you find out you get the Fox Sports big noon kickoff, Oklahoma's coming and all that, but yet you got to go play this one, and it just didn't work out?
What do you mean by that?
Well, how frustrating was it, or just the fact, did you possibly overlook these guys? I guess.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, our guys do such a good job of putting those horse blinders on and really just focusing on our opponent. I mean, we weren't even really worried about the big noon kickoff. But as I said, we put this one to bed, and then we put our full attention towards this next opponent, so we hopefully have a great outcome, or the outcome that we like.
And touchdown on the first play was a miscommunication of the secondary. How frustrating is that to you that, on the first play of this game that they can lose Miami's best player in coverage and they do a 79-yard touchdown?
I mean, the guy went off for I think it was 250? Above 250 last game, so we knew they were going to try to get him open. I actually, I was telling the guys they're obviously going to go for an RPO shot first play to him. I mean, that just happened to happen. We had a little miscommunication with our back end, and, they kind of, they took advantage of that. So, in a sense, it's just making sure we have our communication locked in, for the future, and just making sure that we're tightened up on all the little things.
Any questions for Jowon? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
We'll have Emory Jones in a moment. So we have quarterback Emory Jones. Questions for Emory?
Last play, was there, did you confuse the read or just trying to fit it in there and make something happen on fourth down?
Nah, they was in man coverage. We had 2 hitch routes. Little dig coming behind. The dig got inside of the guy. I'm throwing, anticipating it, and my receiver fell down. Thought it was a PI, but I mean, we didn't get it, and I mean, that's how it turned out.
Was there any instinct to try to take off again, or you just thought you had the right route? And
I mean, he got inside the guy. We got exactly what we wanted. I mean, the guy just fell down. You know what I mean? And I mean, we play football. Stuff happens sometimes. So.
This is your first loss here at Cincinnati after 2 really good weeks. How do you move on from this and just try not to dwell on it too much?
Basically, just get back in the film room and dissect this game as hard as we can, and just have a great week of practice. We got a big opponent coming in next week, so we got to prepare really good and practice well the whole week. So.
Just 1 for 7 there in the red zone. What was Miami's defense doing so well when you guys got in striking territory?
Honestly, I don't think it was too much of them. I think it was just us not executing, honestly. Like I said, that's something that we had to go back to the drawing board and get better at this week.
20 rush for 101 yards today for you. Was that by design or just something you saw with their defense where you were trying to use your legs more?
That's what they kind of gave me. We had a lot of read options in the game plan, and they were squeezing a lot, and I got a lot of pull reads, so I was just doing my job.
Anything you saw from Ryan today that allowed him to kind of be that bell cow running back? So it looked like he had a really strong day.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got like 3 starting running backs, I feel like. He was the guy that was hot today, so, we just stuck with him. And, he was out there making plays.
You and Xavier had a pretty good night with 12 receptions there. Were they doing anything different on Braden? It looked like it was tough to get the ball to him.
They do a good job of like overlapping with their corner to cover seams and inside like intermediate routes. So, I was trying to focus on the singles aside this game. So, they were just kind of taking away. So I just took what they gave me.
Talking about the execution inside the 5-yard line, what was maybe the biggest miscue with that execution? You guys would seemingly get right up on the 2-yard line, and then 2-3 runs would get stuffed right there, and it ended up being a field goal try.
Yeah, they're on scholarship too. They were like kind of getting some push on us, and we obviously didn't get the job done down there. So, we just got to go back to the drawing board this week and make sure we're prepared for next week. Brian
gets the interception there. You guys start the drive at the 8, come up empty. Could you just walk us through what that play call was like with Jowon and Dante there on the offensive line and what you were seeing as a quarterback?
Yeah, we repped that play in practice a couple times, and it's a handoff for me. So I'm basically just getting out the way for the running back and let them do their thing, and it just didn't work out.
I know there's no easy way to try to find positives in this, but is there some positive that you guys were in the red zone 7 times and you were able to move the ball that you can take into next week?
Yeah, definitely. I think we know what we need to work on now. That's red zone scoring, obviously, and that's something that we're gonna attack this week and make sure that we're ready and prepared to execute next week.
Thanks, Emory.
All right, thank you.